What you drink tonight before you go to sleep is either cleaning your arteries or clogging them, and you have probably never once thought about it in those terms. Not the obvious things, not the drinks you already know are bad for you and consume anyway with a side of guilt. The drinks that are the problem are the ones that feel completely harmless, the ones that feel like a reward after a long day, the ones that feel like a wind-down ritual that you have built into your evening routine so deeply that the idea of questioning them feels almost absurd. The warm drink before bed, the evening glass of something you tell yourself is fine in moderation, the flavored drink that helps you relax, the juice or the sweetened tea that you reach for almost automatically when the day is finally done and you are sitting quietly and everything feels settled. Right now, inside the blood vessels running through your chest, your neck, your legs, and your brain, a process is either moving in a direction that protects you or a direction that is slowly, silently, and without a single symptom, building the conditions for one of the most devastating health events a human being can experience. And what you drink in the hours before sleep is playing a more significant role in that process than almost anyone has ever clearly explained to you. Here's what makes the night specifically so important, and this is the biology that changes everything about how you think about your evening routine. Your body does not treat all hours of the day equally. The metabolic processes that govern how your arteries respond to what you consume, how your liver processes substances, how your vascular system manages inflammation, and how your blood composition changes in response to food and drink all operate on a circadian rhythm. They are timed. They are synchronized to your biological clock in ways that make certain hours of the day more vulnerable to certain types of damage than others. The hours before sleep are among the most metabolically sensitive of the entire 24-hour cycle. Your insulin sensitivity is naturally lower in the evening, meaning your body is less equipped to handle sugar and refined carbohydrates at night than it would be with the same substances consumed in the morning. Your liver, which processes alcohol and other substances you consume, shifts its metabolic priorities in the evening in ways that alter how those substances are handled. And your vascular system, which should be entering a state of relative rest and repair during sleep, can instead be pushed into a state of inflammatory stress if the wrong things are circulating in your bloodstream as you fall asleep. What you drink at night does not just affect you for an hour. It affects you for the entire duration of your sleep, when your body is supposed to be repairing the very systems that your evening choices may be damaging. Before we go through the specific drinks that are quietly contributing to arterial damage in ways most people never suspect, I need you to hold on to something because there is a drink coming later in this list that is going to be genuinely difficult to hear about for a lot of people. It is not an obvious villain. It is not something that has ever been classified as unhealthy in mainstream culture. In fact, for many people, it represents comfort, tradition, relaxation, and even a sense of taking care of themselves. The research on what this particular drink does to arterial health when consumed regularly in the evening is something that has been quietly accumulating in the scientific literature for years, and the picture it paints is one that deserves to be discussed clearly and honestly, regardless of how uncomfortable that conversation might be for people whose evening rituals it involves. We will get there. But the context has to come first. The first drink that is contributing to arterial damage in ways most people never connect to their evening habits is sweetened beverages consumed at night. And this includes the drinks that do not obviously read as sugar-heavy. Flavored waters with natural sweeteners, fruit juices consumed as a healthy evening drink, herbal teas with honey added generously, sports drinks that seem benign because they are associated with activity, even kombucha consumed in large quantities before bed. The issue is not the drink category. The issue is the sugar arriving in the bloodstream at a time when the body is least equipped to manage it. As insulin sensitivity drops in the evening hours, sugar consumed at night produces a more pronounced and more prolonged blood glucose elevation than the same amount of sugar consumed earlier in the day. An elevated blood glucose at night, circulating through your vascular system while you sleep, drives glycation, the process by which sugar molecules chemically attach to proteins in the arterial walls, stiffening them, damaging the endothelial lining, and creating the structural conditions that allow plaque to begin forming. Every night that blood glucose is elevated during sleep, glycation is working on your arterial walls in an environment where the normal repair processes are competing with the damage being generated simultaneously. The arteries that are supposed to be resting and recovering are instead being chemically altered by the sugar you consumed while watching television or winding down before bed. Over months and years, this cumulative nighttime glycation is contributing to arterial stiffness and plaque development in a way that has no symptoms, no warning, and no obvious daily feedback to tell you it is happening. The second drink is alcohol, and the evening is specifically where the vascular consequences of regular alcohol consumption concentrate most heavily. Most people who drink alcohol in the evening do so in what they consider moderate quantities, 1 or 2 drinks, and they have been told often enough that moderate drinking may even have cardiovascular benefits that they feel largely at ease with the habit. The moderate drinking cardiovascular benefit narrative has been significantly revised in recent years as better research methodologies have separated the effects of alcohol itself from the lifestyle factors that moderate drinkers tend to have compared to non-drinkers. What the updated research shows is that alcohol consumed in the evening, even in moderate quantities on a regular basis, disrupts sleep architecture in ways that directly impair vascular repair. Alcohol initially sedates, but then fragments sleep in the second half of the night, suppressing the deep sleep stages during which blood pressure naturally drops, vascular inflammation is managed, and arterial repair processes are most active. When those repair windows are consistently disrupted by alcohol, the cumulative vascular burden increases over time. Alcohol also raises triglyceride levels, increases inflammatory markers, elevates blood pressure in the hours following consumption, and impairs the endothelial production of nitric oxide, the molecule responsible for keeping arterial walls relaxed and flexible. A drink that feels like relaxation is simultaneously triggering a cascade of vascular effects that work directly against arterial health during the hours when the body most needs to be recovering. The third drink is one that a significant portion of the population consumes every single evening with the genuine belief that it is beneficial, healthy, or at worst completely neutral. Warm milk with added flavorings, specifically the sweetened warm milk drinks, malted milk beverages, and chocolate milk preparations that millions of people have incorporated into their bedtime routine as a comforting, sleep-supporting evening habit. The comfort association is real. The sleep-supporting tryptophan content in milk is real. But what is also real and what is almost never discussed in the context of these beloved evening rituals is the sugar content of the flavored and sweetened preparations that most people actually consume rather than plain warm milk. A large mug of sweetened malted milk or chocolate milk before bed can contain anywhere from 20 to 40 grams of sugar consumed at the precise moment when insulin sensitivity is at its daily low, delivering exactly the kind of nighttime blood glucose elevation that drives arterial glycation during sleep. The warmth and the comfort and the genuine sleep association have made this category of drink feel safe and even virtuous, while the sugar content is doing the same vascular damage at night as any other high-sugar beverage consumed in the same window. The problem is compounded by the fact that these drinks are often consumed as a final ritual right before lying down, meaning the blood glucose elevation they cause peaks precisely during the early hours of sleep when vascular repair should be at its most active. And now the fourth drink, the one I told you to hold on to, late-night fruit smoothies, specifically the thick, nutrient-dense, carefully constructed fruit smoothies that health-conscious people blend before bed as a way of getting additional nutrients, supporting their health goals, and feeling like they are doing something genuinely good for their bodies in the final moments of the day. Whole fruits, natural ingredients, no added sugar. Everything about it reads as healthy. And in many contexts and at many times of day, it genuinely is. But consuming a high-fructose fruit smoothie in the hour before sleep delivers a concentrated fructose load to the liver at the moment when the liver's circadian clock is shifting toward its overnight processing priorities. The liver handles fructose differently at night than during the day, with a greater proportion being directed toward fat synthesis rather than energy use during the evening hours. Regular late-night fruit smoothies, consumed with the sincere intention of supporting health, are delivering a fructose load to the liver at the precise circadian window where that fructose is most likely to be converted to fat, contributing to the hepatic fat accumulation that drives systemic inflammation and arterial damage. The health intention behind this evening habit does not change the metabolic reality of what the timing is doing to the biology. Your arteries do not sleep when you sleep. They are working through the night in an environment created entirely by what you consumed in the hours before you closed your eyes. The drinks you choose in the evening are not a small, inconsequential decision made at the end of a day that has already been determined. They are a daily vote cast in the quiet of your evening routine for the long-term direction of your vascular health. So here's the honest question I want you to answer in the comments below. What is your evening drink routine right now? And after everything you just heard, is there something you are going to look at differently starting tonight? Tell me below, because sometimes the most powerful change begins with the simplest moment of honest recognition.